So I thought I'd come on here and talk to you guys for a little bit about a couple of things. So I've gotten on the side of YouTube and TikTok where it talks about people who are 50 and older should start definitely creating content for these particular platforms because we have a lot to share, and the life that we live gives a lot of great lessons that are invaluable, and people have an interest in what we have to say. So I've been thinking a lot about this, and I think I want to talk just a little bit about being in the beauty industry for almost 25 years, and what I've learned probably over the last 10 years has really summed up everything that I could have done differently possibly. And I just want to share it with you, especially those who may be in their late 20s, early 30s. It's not too late to make a shift and really put some things in place that can help you in the long run. So I know a lot of times it's hard for us to really narrow down and pin down where we want to go in life and the things we want to do as far as like getting married, having children. A lot of times those things are things that kind of happen. You know, sometimes you don't always plan a pregnancy. Sometimes you don't always plan to fall in love. And so for me, when those things happened, I was kind of at the, I wouldn't say pinnacle of my career, but it was definitely a turning point back in the early 2000s. I was dating my husband. I had just acquired a salon from a family member. Well, she wasn't family at the time, she was a girlfriend. And I was just getting to a point where I was, you know, trying to come into my own as a businesswoman. Well, I fell in love and married my husband. During that time, I was trying to still build a cohesive brand, staff, a team to work in the salon. I was going through doing a survey with clients, trying to really figure out what it was that could set my salon apart and what it was that my clients really needed and how to make the salon a one-stop shop for them. In the midst of all this, I got married in 2005, and I had just had the salon for 1 year at that point. And yeah, just a year at that point. And decided that I wanted to make a really big shift and move to a larger salon due to the data that I had collected. I said, you know what? Let's make a day spa of it. At that time, I had like an 11-year-old son, I was a newlywed with my husband. And here I am just acquiring a salon. And just a few years later, I decided to expand that salon, take on 8 new team members, which morphed into 12, and triple my space and moving to a completely different location. 1 year after doing that, now mind you, the salon had become my new baby. Fresh in a marriage, we're at year 4, maybe just coming up on year 4. I have this new budding teenager, and I am seeing about 35 people a week. I have this huge staff, and it was crazy. It was chaos. I was making, wasn't quite making multiple 6 figures, but definitely 6 figures. And I felt like things were going well, right? So I decided that we were going to have a baby. I didn't decide. We decided that we were going to have a baby. Not really realizing what having a baby would do to me physically or mentally. So during my pregnancy, it went well. I took on a few assistants to really just kind of help me be able to maintain my workload, because, if you can really think about moving to a larger space, of course my overhead has tripled along with renovations. So I have that as part of my build out cost, which I need to pay back. I have staff that's working for me that I need to pay hourly and commission to. But then there's the other hand. I'm seeing about 25 to 35 people a week. I have booth rent coming in from about 5 people. And everything was kind of evening out. But when you throw the monkey wrench of not being able to perform at your capacity that you've been performing at, things start to change. So 2 months prior to me being due to deliver, I was put on bed rest. Not really 2 months, but very close to 2 months. It was like 6 weeks prior to me delivering. I was put on bed rest, so I had to get off my feet. I had to literally stop working. Now, let me say this. Are self-employed or in the beauty industry or in an industry where you use your body to make money, I'm not talking about being a business owner and you have staff and people that work for you or you're making money in your sleep. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people who actually have to utilize their gifts, their body, to actually make money. Before you get to the point where you have to take off for an extended period of time, be it for medical reasons or say there's a freak accident, you need to make sure you have the proper insurance in place and a nest egg to be able to fall back on when you're no longer able to make money. So once I went on bed rest, 30 days prior to my date, 6 weeks prior, true enough, my clients were still being seen. Money was still coming in from booth renters and retail, but the money that I needed to make to bring to sustain my home had come to a screeching halt. By the time I delivered my baby, which was about 4 weeks later because he came 2 weeks early, we were in a position where we had to apply for food stamps. So mind you, 6 figures coming in, almost that amount going out. I have 2,000 square feet building that I am, it's full to the capacity with people working in it. I was charging booth rent that was comparable to other booth rental salons in the area. And I was servicing anywhere from 20 to 35 people a week. And I don't think I was living a lavish lifestyle. Like, we had just bought a home in foreclosure that we rehabbed. So it wasn't like we bought or had a home built. It was something that we had to rehab ourselves. And of course I was pregnant, so I couldn't do a whole lot, but my husband, friends, and family chipped in. And we have a brand new baby, a teenager about to graduate high school, and we had to apply for food stamps. Let me just say this really quickly before I go on with the story. My husband had just gotten laid off as well, right before the holidays. So my son was due December 3rd, which was our wedding anniversary. He ended up coming on November 18th. And right when I got laid off or had to take leave, he was laid off from his job too. So that's why we were a candidate for food stamps. About 15 years ago, 15 years ago when this happened. And I had just been doing hair or having the salon for maybe about, 5 or going on 6 years. And I didn't prepare. But not only having the salon that I didn't prepare for, even being behind the chair, say I was renting boots from somebody, I still wasn't prepared. Because if I didn't have the booth rent coming in and stylists that I was still paying commission on, I wouldn't have had anything coming in to pay for anything. I would have probably literally had to pack up my station and go home. And after I had the baby and healed, reapplied at another salon to find somewhere to work, just in case where I was working, gave my booth away to someone else. So I think the lesson here is this. When you are self-employed, where you're using your body to do the work, you need to make sure you have in place all the proper insurances so that you can be and feel secure that your life will be sustained in the event that you're not able to stand and make that money. What does that look like? It looks like disability insurance that will cover you during a pregnancy, because not all insurances are the same. It looks like short-term disability versus long-term. So you want to make sure that when you are paying for an insurance, that you are paying for the right one. Just because it says disability and it will cover you while you're off, it's really, you have to really have an understanding of the time frame in which it will cover you. Because again, not all insurances are the same. You want to make sure that you have at least 3 months worth of bill money in a bank account for your 4 walls. And when I say 4 walls, I mean your house, transportation, food, and clothing. So those are your 4 walls. And any of you that have taken the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace course, you know what I'm talking about, right? Those are just the necessities to make sure you are able to live on a daily basis. It does not include credit cards. It doesn't include your booth rent, products that you need for customers, or any of that. Now, if you are a beautypreneur like myself, you definitely want to have a good surplus of product and finances to cover booth rent for at least 3 months of what it takes to run your business. Why I say that is because just like you need it for your house and you're able to live, you need it for your business as well. A lot of times we put more money into our business and we don't have a lot to take home. So I know some of you may be thinking, okay, Nika, I am living day to day doing clients. When I get money, I pay it straight out. You need to maybe try to put yourself on the envelope system. And let me explain. When we are getting money in every single day, a lot of times, the same day we get money, we put it out, whether it's towards a bill, something for our children. It makes it easier for us to stop and get something to eat on our way home instead of cooking what we have at home. Having money in your pocket, just that fluid, liquid cash, a lot of times puts us in situations where it's not really the best for us. So the envelope system, if I can recommend this to you, would be to, every time you get cash, every single day, put it in the envelope and seal that envelope. When you work for someone else, you've made money hourly, but you don't see that check until Friday. So one thing you can do for yourself is to actually put your money away as if you were working and getting paid daily, but not getting paid until Friday. So if you can put all of your money away every day that you work, put it in an envelope, seal it. If you have debit and credit card machine where you take transactions that way, put that credit card or that debit card for that account, freeze it in a cup of water in a styrofoam cup so you don't have access to it for a full work week. And then at the end of the week, whatever the end of the week is for you, whether it's Friday, whether it's Saturday, whether it's Sunday, whatever the end of the week is for you, go ahead and open up all of those envelopes, defrost that debit card, and start putting money in buckets. Just create 2 buckets starting out, and one bucket can be your home fund, 4 walls, and the other bucket can be your business fund. Another way you can do this would be to get like a coupon folder where it has all the different slots, and you can put the money in all the different slots and wrap the rubber band around it and don't open it until the end of the week. And then 2, you can use that same or get a different little envelope divider, and each divider on the tab put a different bill that you owe. So if your average electric bill for your house is $300 a month, you divide that by the number of weeks in a month, and every week you open your envelopes from your pay, you can drop that dollar amount. So if it's $100, for instance, and it's 4 weeks in a month, $25 in each in that slot every single week that you open up your envelopes to pay yourself. And when it comes around for the bill to come around again, you would have everything that you need to pay that bill, and nothing is hitting you by surprise. One thing I do suggest is that you, of course, deal with your household bills first after you pay yourself. So for me, it's 10% tithes, right? I'm a Christian believer. I believe in paying God first. So the first thing would be for me to take out 10% of whatever I made that week for my tithes and offering. Then everything else is what I have left to work with, right? Then I would go ahead and pay myself. So whatever I choose to pay myself that week. And so paying myself consists of what? Things that I need at the moment, especially if I'm on a budget. And I'm not talking about toiletries, I'm not talking about gas for my car, I'm talking about things that I need for myself to keep myself sane. So if that is, making sure I have, a particular type of coffee that I drink every week that keeps me from going to Starbucks, then I need to make sure I have money in my little fund for that. If it's my hairdresser appointment or my nail appointment, my eyebrow appointment, those necessities, I need to go ahead and separate those out for myself. So it's more or less giving yourself an allowance. After that, you can go ahead and build up your 4 walls. And so your 4 walls are car, food, house, and clothing. So most of the time, we don't buy clothes that often. Maybe once a quarter, we may buy some necessities, new undergarments, things like that, socks. As the season changes, we realize some things are a little worn out and have lint balls on them. So we may need some new stuff. But that might be once a quarter. So, use the discretion on how much you're going to put into your clothing bill for you and your family, wisely, I should say. But what's most important, I think, is definitely food, transportation, and your household bills. And you can break those down however you see fit. I think sometimes with your food, it may fluctuate week to week, because some weeks you might be able to go ahead and stock the freezer with some meat. The next week you might only need essentials like eggs, butter, milk, bread, and so on. But you need to look at an average on how much you spend for your groceries, right? That's your food. If you are actually going to try to eat out, then do that. Put that in that budget. It'll be your eat out budget, but put it in there. So if you guys do Pizza Friday and you do Taco Tuesday, you need to allot for that too. That's part of your budget. Then of course, your house, your home bills, all of your utilities, things like that. And then, lawn care, buying gasoline for the lawnmower, all that type of stuff that you would normally do, trash bags, all those type of things, which you don't need to buy as often, but still want to be mindful of keeping that stuff on the list. And then transportation, your gas to get back and forth to work. And if you are on public transportation, that would be your bus pass. And even if you take Uber, that would be your Uber funds. I know everybody doesn't have public transportation in their area and can't afford a car right now, or a car is broken down, and you may have to take Uber everywhere you go. You still want to make a budget for that as well. For the business side, I would definitely do the bare minimum for my business. Keeping your business communication open, whether that's a phone you have for your business or seeing if you can use your personal cell phone partly for business. I know a lot of people are really into booking apps these days, but they also come with a fee, and so does credit card transactions. Eats into your financial situation. So if you're really trying to save money and do a reset, you could always put those on hold for a while until you're in a position to be able to regain access to those without feeling like it's a stressor, helping you more than it's stressing you out. Go ahead and book as much as you can. Work as much as you are able to without cutting into your family time. Don't miss games and recitals and miss out on supporting your children to try to make the money. But if you find yourself sleeping in later, scrolling, and getting frustrated with cancellations, you need to be proactive and making sure you're filling those spots and possibly starting your day earlier and figuring out where you could get clients in and do more of what you do best so you're not losing some time. Having all of these things in place and just kind of building on them will set you up to be in a better position in the event you do have to take off work unexpectedly or having to take a planned leave for a surgery or to have a baby. This scenario is just one of the many things I would have done differently or would have tried my best to prepare better for years ago. So if you can take anything away from what I'm saying today, prepare. And even when you think you're prepared, prepare some more. And even when you think you have enough in the bank, put more away. And even when you think you have a proper amount of insurance, get another policy. Because when it's just you carrying the business, you want to make sure all of your bases are covered. If you have any questions about what I'm saying, about the envelope system, or just preparing yourself in general, please leave me a comment in the comment section. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. And if you are self-employed or a beautypreneur and have had to take off work for one reason or another, what did you do to prepare? How did you get yourself and your finances in order so that you didn't have a huge setback when the time came for you to take off for your mental health, physical health, or well-being? I would love to hear from you guys in the comments below. But until next time, be well.